Good morning, everyone. Glad you could all make it. I think we'll probably have a few stragglers coming in over time. That seems to be the standard practice for these meetings. So for those you don't know, my name is Ryan McKinster. I am the Government Affairs Director here at the BIA of Clark County. To give you a little background, about how long ago was it? It seems like 3 years ago, but I think it was only 5 months ago. We all fell into a new way of life, and part of that is we started doing these webinars to kind of mostly back then was for compliance and for health, health and safety for under the new rules, under the governor's order and things like that. We realized it was pretty valuable for our members, as well as for a line of communication between us and our colleagues we work with in the industry, whether it's some people in the different jurisdictions for permitting or other colleagues in different industries. So thank you all for being here today. I especially want to thank our friends from Camas and Washougal. We have Phil Bourquin for Community Development Director at Camas, as well as Bob Cunningham, who's a building official there. We also have Nate Wormer with Washougal, who's their building inspector, and Teresa Guise, who is their permit specialist there at Washougal. So thank you very much. This is the second in a series of these that we put together. We first started with Vancouver, discussing kind of where we're at with permitting and inspections generally, as well as, kind of under the current restrictions or the current environment we are in. We all know, probably much to our chagrin, that we look like we're going to be in this situation for a while. We've all had a few months or more than a few months. Like I said, it seems like years to try to shake things out on this as well. And so our idea here at BIA was it's a good time for our members to kind of speak with some of the people that are responsible or help us get our permits and get our inspections done, so we're all on the same page. It's not as much a moving target anymore, so it's a really good time to kind of zero out and set our expectations on both sides, as well as some discussions if there are any concerns from either side of the transaction, and make sure we get those fixed. With that, just to give you a little rundown, I'm gonna go to Camas first and then Washougal, let them kind of speak to us about what they're currently doing, their current processes and protocols, and maybe if there's some concerns, let us know what those are as well. And then after that, we'll go to Washougal and do the same thing. And then we'll proceed on basically to questions and answers. Feel free to put some questions in the chat if you'd like, but I do prefer if you want to just actually vocalize those questions. You do that. It's a little easier than trying to track the chat window, and we're not overwhelming with people on here. So that's where we stand. With that, I want to give it over to Phil. Phil, the Community and Development Director over at Camas. If you would like to start, and then have at it. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Ryan, and thanks for inviting us here. This is a good opportunity for us as well. Couple things. So as Community Development Director, I'm working with our mayor. As most people know, we have a new mayor that came into, was voted into office last November. And then COVID hit shortly after he came into office. So, and he had no government experience whatsoever prior to coming in. So we've been working with him and then drinking through a fire hose like everybody else on how to address all these different issues. We also, the city has also just hired a new city administrator, and Jamal Fox, and he's going to be joining us on the 1st of September. And so we've got a number of changes at high level and really at the level where policy is driven and made. So we'll be working through that. On the bright side, and getting back to really what we're here about, Bob Cunningham is our building official. Bob's been at the city since like 1979. Is that right, Bob? I'm not sure. 89? And you might want to unmute. So I'm going to turn it over to Bob just to explain our current practices, what we're doing, and then open up for questions. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, so right now, obviously, government buildings are still closed, but we are processing permits and applications. We're not electronic yet. That is going to be sometime in the future. But currently, we're still just pen and paper. We got a walk-up window where we're taking plans and issuing plans. We're taking all payments over the phone currently, and really running a pretty efficient process from what we can see.
And Bob, you want to explain, like, our inspectors, how many do we have? Are they, what are we doing to ensure that, you know, they're not cross-contaminating each other?
Well,
I'll also add real quickly, in the city of Camas, we haven't had a single case of COVID of any employees. So that's been a positive thing as well.
Right. So obviously they're practicing the governor's guidelines, masking up when they get out, you know, limited social distancing with the 6 feet. When we can, we're making those phone calls ahead of time so the job sites can you know, get ready, or the homeowners, you know, for one-off inspections. Yeah, it's so far we've had no concerns from the building public that I'm aware of. So,
and on the city side, actually the city as a whole has been, we're planning for working under phase 2 till the end of the year. Of course, if that changes at the governor's office or anywhere else, we'd be following that lead. But just for the purposes of continuity, we're trying to say, okay, plan the whole entire city, you know, toward phase 2 through the remainder of the year. That includes all our public meetings and other things as well. So, so we're ready. I think we're doing. I'm interested in hearing from the public or from your builders or the builders to see what things we can improve upon. Is there areas that, you know, that you're finding difficulty with permits in Camas?
Well, thank you, Phil and Bob, and I think I'm going. If you have a question now, can you hold? If you would hold that for me, that would be great. I think I kind of want to go to Washougal now because I assume some of the questions being asked are actually going to apply to both jurisdictions. So, just in the essence of time and respecting your guys' time, especially those joining us from the jurisdictions, I'm hopefully we could do it that way. So with that, I would like to go over to Washougal, and whoever would go first, Nate or Teresa, feel free just to speak up, and then we'd love to hear from you and kind of what you have to tell us.
Nate, do you want to go ahead? Did we lose him? Uh-oh, I think he's gone.
Oh, he's one
So
second. I think
basically,
he's unmuting.
is he there?
There he is. Yeah, Nate's with us. Just for everybody's
Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, so everybody knows, Teresa is actually on the phone, and so that we've got some interaction things going on there. But Nate, it's up to you. I do not hear you, Nate, unfortunately. Yeah, still not hearing anything from you, Nate.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, if you would like to go ahead while he's working on that, Teresa, that would be awesome.
So as far as the permitting side goes, basically nothing has really changed, except that I will go outside and meet with the applicant, masked up, both of us, and they submit plans either in a large plastic tote or they hand them off to me. They do usually make an appointment. If they don't, I can see them outside my window and I just run out and get it. But basically, as far as the whole process during COVID, we haven't changed anything. I put a label on the permit, I put it out in a box, they pick it up, I notify them, they pick it up with their approved plans. Payments, we're doing online payments. We still take cash or check, preferably check, and they take that down to City Hall. That's the only inconvenience, is they do have to take a paper check to City Hall, deposit in the utility box, and then they have to come back to this location to pick up their permits because we are in a new building.
Great, and I think Nate might still be working on it. Oh, I think he's got it figured out, maybe. I know from doing a lot of these, if you're working for an iPhone or an Android phone, it's a little difficult because you have to give it permissions for your audio.
And I will tell you regarding submitting permits, as far as small projects, we just take them online. And same with mechanical, plumbing, and roofing, but we've always done that. So that has not changed.
And I have a phone
There
call
he
that
is,
just
I
came
think.
in that I'm assuming is probably Nate. It looks like it's muted though. See if I can unmute it
Star
from
six, Nate.
there we go.
Okay. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you, Nate. Thank you for making the effort.
Okay. No problem. Like Teresa said, a lot of stuff hasn't changed. A lot of it is very similar to what Camas has going on. We're still taking in plans. We are currently only 4 days a week, so Monday through Thursday. But both inspectors are in all 4 days, so we can accommodate inspections those 4 days. Same things, we're masking up, practicing social distancing. We don't require anybody to be off the job site. Just make sure the social distancing is in place. And that's most of it. So.
Okay. Okay, well that's great. I just wanted, I guess the first question, if I will throw one out there. I know, and this is, I have not heard anything about either of your jurisdictions regarding this, so I'm just asking this question. It's a standard question. Kind of, what are your turnaround times for permits? Are they getting longer, shorter, staying the same? And kind of, as part of that too, is what's your traffic of permits and inspections? I know some other jurisdictions and what we read about nationally, it's a very busy time for our industry. So if you want to start, Nate or Teresa, and just kind of give us an update on that, that'd be great. Then we can go to Phil and Bob.
So from Washougal standpoint, we've been busy. As soon as phase 2 kicked in, we had a whole backlog of plans that had been approved, just waiting to get released. So that all went out the door, and it's been pretty steady since then. Our turnaround time has remained the same. We typically say 2 to 3 week turnaround time frame if you have everything in place. So that hasn't changed. And our inspections actually lately have gone pretty high. So.
And most of we've taken in quite a few new single families, a majority, which has been very unusual. I think I've permitted more covered patios and remodels with.
Looks like we may have lost Teresa's phone, but that does track with what we're seeing for numbers nationally and some other stuff. Remodeling is pretty important right now, I think, with people being at home. So Bob and Phil, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah. So from our standpoint, we're caught up with the plan reviews. We're probably about 3 to 4 weeks out on single family. July, we did issued, I believe it was 32 single family permits for the month of July. And if a specific project comes in where they need to get ahead of the game, we're willing to work with the builders on that too. Same thing with the small projects, probably, 2 weeks on the small projects. Inspections, we're tracking we got 2 inspectors out in the field, and they're averaging probably about 12 stops a day. And that might include, plumbing, mechanical, framing at one stop, but we're there Monday through Friday, taking care of things.
And I'll just add on that, for August, through the 19th of August, I think we were at 31 new single family homes. Wow. On average, in a typical year in Camas, we're seeing about 22 new homes a month. So just that kind of tells you where we are on those, but we're keeping up. Good.
Well, before I go into some follow-on questions, is there anybody else that would like to pose a question to either or both? Well, if not, I would love to have some questions from some of our attendees now. So if you can think about those and bring those forward, that'd be great. A part, I guess part of that is I would love to ask this question too. I mean, it's kind of, I know it exists in more in other jurisdictions. We've heard this, and I mean, this is also a chance to let us know if there's stuff that we can help with or do better. Are you seeing more, less problems with incomplete packets or errors, or is there something? I know it's cyclical, but sometimes there's just an error that keeps happening at a certain time of the year. Are either one of you guys in your departments seeing that and something I can pass on to my members?
From Camas standpoint, most of the packets are complete. Where we're seeing, we've got some payments that were with the City of Vancouver, where the signal's out on 192nd, where Camas has got a lot of development just east of 192nd. So we got some traffic impact fees that need to be paid through the City of Vancouver before Camas issues permits. So those are probably little hiccups, but all in all, I'd say it's both the development community and individual builders have been really stepping up their game from Camas' standpoint.
Thanks, Bob.
I have nothing to add. I'll just say it's been, actually, the builders have been great overall. So we have really no complaints. So nothing that we'd say you can help us with on our side. We're pleased. So
that makes a happy Tuesday for me.
Yeah.
Nate or Teresa, was there anything you wanted to add from your point of view?
From Washougal, we aren't seeing a lot of incomplete packets, or it's nothing normal. It's nothing that's not normal. Things always get missed whenever stuff gets submitted, so that's not a huge issue as far as that goes. That unfortunately does push out your review time a little bit longer, because then we're having to find out that you're missing it and tell you to get it in. But that's just kind of the norm. Hasn't been happening more. But yeah, same thing though. Builders have been pretty good. They don't really fight with you on anything. When we were requiring them to be off the job site at the start of all this, there were no arguments. They were just, okay, we'll just hang out over in our trucks while you're doing your inspections. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
And I'm happy to be busy.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are. I think how this is shaken out so far, it's been very, very, very heartening to see how this has gone. I mean, I think all of us, at least on this call, had some serious reservations or concerns about 3 or 4 months ago. So yeah, that's great, and we do appreciate the efforts you guys are making to keep us ahead of the game and on these things. I know it's really important for our builders, especially with that delay. We knew there was going to be a glut coming at you guys, and with the delay, some of these guys want to get these projects started because we're starting to, we're getting towards the end of the summer and we start getting to the harder season to start projects. So we really do appreciate that and appreciate you guys. I forgot to mention this up front or at the top, but also this is being recorded. This will be edited by my awesome communications manager, Andrea, to clean it up a little bit and put some shine on it, but that will be posted as soon as we can get that done. So this will be, it's often viewed by our members that not necessarily registered or on this call, but they will have it as well. And I will pass on some of these things to them as well. And along those lines, I will reach out to you, Bob. I want to talk about that Vancouver TIF thing and see if there's something I can inform my members about to make sure they know that was part of the process, just to keep them informed. So that's a separate side issue. Just wanted to put that out there. I do have a question, but I want to open it up again. Does anybody on the call right now have a question for any of our speakers? Okay, well, keep those coming or not. So I guess I had a question for everybody as well. I know in other jurisdictions this has been a bit of an issue with communication. It doesn't sound like it is at all for you guys, and I have to be upfront. I have not received one call with concerns about interactions or lack of communication. So I do truly appreciate that, as do my members. If someone has an issue or they have to ask a question, and I know, Teresa, you mentioned handing off the plans, is there an opportunity for an actual verbal interaction at that point, or is it really kind of standoffish, which like drop and go, which some of our other organizations are? And on the same token, how about communication? If questions, by phone call, is it a quick return? I know in other jurisdictions where, returns are a couple of weeks out for just a phone call. So if you can just give me a heads up on that, that would be wonderful.
So Ryan, calls do not go unanswered or messages returned. It's usually same day. I would say 99.9% of the rate. Also, if somebody comes up to the window, example, last Thursday at like 5 o'clock, somebody came up. I went outside, I met with them. They were buying a new house and they had questions. If I need to get Nate and David, I just come back in the office. They mask, well, they're already masked up, and then they go out and speak to them. So there's no lack of communication.
That's great to hear. That's wonderful here. I would appreciate if all of our jurisdictions were that easy to communicate with. I'm assuming the same, similar for you guys in Camas, Phil and Bob.
Same as for Camas. You know, if somebody comes up and has a question, one of the inspectors or permit techs will go talk to them at the window. If it's more involved in that, I've stepped outside a number of times and just had chats with them out in the parking lot. We're making the same day. You know, phone calls are usually same as Washougal. 99.9% of the time are the same day. You know, so I'm unaware of any communication problems, but no, if anybody comes up to the window, they get responded to.
Great, good to hear that, and I really do appreciate the effort you guys are making. Is there anybody else with any questions for anybody? We have them on the phone. I mean, we have them on the line. Obviously, they're very busy keeping up with us, which we definitely, you know, appreciate. But part of that is, you know, we don't want to take any more of their time because we know they're working hard to get those permits out and inspections done. It looks like Scott has a question. Scott, do you have a question? Oh, I don't hear you. It sounds like you're muted, Scott. Or it doesn't sound like you're muted. There you go.
So was it just Camas and Washougal here today?
Yeah, just Camas and Washougal today. Yep. And then I'm trying to schedule the other jurisdictions. Our first was Vancouver, and we are working on scheduling other jurisdictions as available.
Well, I will say in the county, Camas and Washougal are probably the best right now as far as working through permits and getting things done. Teresa's pretty amazing, and of course I know Nate really well, and so that's a good team. I don't do a whole lot in Camas, but definitely for sure Washougal.
Thank you, Nate. Or I mean, Scott, I appreciate that.
Well, I've been doing this for 20 years here in the county, so it's nice to see everybody kind of getting together here with the same goals to make it better. You just need to do something in Clark County.
Yeah, I did not. Scott is not a plant, but that is a good follow-on. It is my hope that we could do this, if not biannually, at least. I mean, at least biannually, but maybe quarterly. Set something up like this just to keep us all on the same page. Rather get to a point where we're down the road and issue is compounded on issue, and then we're all kind of stuck in a trick box. So I really do appreciate everybody being on here. It is really, really helpful, and I don't see other questions, so I was going to offer up one last a little shout out or whatever you would like to say from the jurisdictions. If you have a wrap up or something you just want to let us know before we sign off, that would be great.
So I have a question. I just signed a new SFR for the city of Camas. So what did you say the turnaround time is in Camas?
Right now for single family, about 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, that's great. I just did one in Clark County. It took 18 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a pretty straightforward build, it shouldn't take too long.
And what's the square footage requirement for sprinklers in Camas?
New single family dwellings, period.
Period.
All new single family dwellings, yeah.
Okay, good.
And once
Yeah,
again,
so for Camas, if you do have permit questions or you know, when you're submitting permit applications, if you just email those ahead to permits@cityofcamas.us, Carrie and Ariana will have everything ready for you, so it's a quick, easy transaction at the window.
great. I do appreciate that. That's something I definitely want to pass on to our members as well.
Okay.
From Washougal, I just wanted to put out really quick. I know we've heard a lot about issues with sourcing materials, particularly like electrical equipment, things like that. Unfortunately, that will hold up a certificate of occupancy if everything's not good to go. So I know people don't like to hear that, but everything does have to meet code before we can give that full certificate of occupancy. So sourcing out that material early, or whatever you need to do, definitely you'll need to start working on that if you haven't run into it already.
Thank you for that, Nate. And yeah, obviously the sourcing for material and the prices is getting price and sourcing, which depend on each other, is getting difficult. And so, and I know the certificate of occupancy and other issues is been a little bit of a concern. It hasn't been vocalized much, but yeah, thank you for that. That is a reminder to me to reach out to our members and to remind them of the fact that there's certain things that you just can't, you just have to, you have to accept, and some types of permitting, and obviously certificate of occupancy is a big one that, if you guys can't do it, there's no workaround. So they really need to be conscientious of getting at least those things in line to have them in time. So I really appreciate that. I will let my members know about that one too. Well, I think this is a record for one of these things for us, especially having 2 jurisdictions. I really do appreciate everybody being here. So yeah, Phil and Bob, thank you again from Camas, and thank you for all you are doing. Like I said, my guys, I have not heard any concerns so far, and so that's a really good thing. Not only is it good for our industry, it makes me happy and my job a little easier, so I can focus on the things that we do need to focus on. And same to you, Nate and Teresa. I do really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. I think it's very important. And especially some of the things you guys brought up, I definitely want to get to my members to let them know. But I do definitely want to say thank you for all the work you guys have been doing, and for working with our members through this, and trying to keep the process as quick and clean, as efficient as possible. During this time, communication is very important, and we have seen where it's not been very well established or executed, and I know that is not the case with you, and you guys do serve as an example for others in our county, so I really do appreciate that.
Great.
All right, thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful Tuesday and have a great week.